mission, on a mission. Trying to get it right. Transition. Changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission. On a mission. Trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. I'm on a mission. On a mission, I'm trying to get it right. Changing the way that I see life. Transitioning my life. On a mission. On a mission. On a mission.
Welcome to the Alchemizing Energy podcast. Listen, Shaflan Bay, it's not showing your whatever's going on. I can't hear you. I would not be able to hear you. So you have to come back up and fix that connection. But listen, welcome to the podcast. So listen, last time we tried to do this, I was, I had 3 hours of sleep, right? Well, not less than 3 hours because I was like, okay, so what's happening at the same time these fires are going on? It's snowstorms in Texas, and I actually am a part of the people that like de-ices the planes, right? So I de-ice planes so let me tell you how they slave drive us de-icing these planes. You will sit there for out like listen, they will put you on a tarmac and you will be just up there for hours, right? And the whole thing is that you just be up there for like it could be like 11 hours, whatever. And I had like zero sleep. Okay. None. You hear me? I was exhausted. And so I had worked from 4 o'clock that day, the day before, worked all the way up until 1, stayed up, worked from 4 all the way until then at 11 they said, well, can you stay a little bit longer? I said, well, yeah, I'll stay a little longer. And then till 2, and I'm on the thing like de-icing the planes, and I'm like, and listen, this is like almost like, would that be like 24 hours? How long is that? I don't even know I don't even know how long this. But I was up there, like just sitting up there, just so what they do is they work you to death. When a snowstorm happens, whatever's going on, they're gonna like you're gonna be there. Period. Your kids are not in school. They're like okay, and then they'll have you there at the airport. Just what you gonna say, Jackie?
Oh, I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was on like I had like did all that, and I still felt like I had energy. I still felt energized. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna just do some like lives, and I'm gonna do this and do that. And finally, my body said, "That's it. That's enough." And my body, I was like, and I just fell asleep. I woke up in the middle of the live, and I'm trying to play it off like, oh no, I'm not awake. No, I was awake the whole time. What do you mean? I was I was still awake the whole. No, I was asleep like a bug. And then I like finally cut everything off and I went to bed and I got the best sleep ever. But let me tell you something. Shouts out to the people that like actually take care of like the planes, right? People don't even know when you get on a plane, right? You'll somehow you'll be like, why is it taking me so long to like take off? You have no idea that they're pulling into a place trying to blow off like all the ice and everything off the plane to make sure you can take off, right? So this is a very important job that I do. You know what I'm saying? It's very important and it's very scary. You know what I'm saying? It's very frightening. And they have these people doing this stuff all like for hours. Imagine like they will have you, I mean, hours on end doing this. And you might fall asleep in the truck and people have to come and like knock on the door like, okay, you're asleep, wake up. Because you're like there for like a whole like shift. Like the shift might be like 11 hours and you're just on the actual like thing waiting for the planes to come through and to let the person de-ice the planes. So it's very frightening. It's very so please excuse me if I fell asleep that time. Please excuse me at that, at that moment. But anyways, so I kind of interrupted the whole thing about the don't make fun of me. I already know. Don't make fun of me because there was a lot that we were trying to cover, but we missed a lot too. So I wanted to bring this whole thing back. I did talk about some of the things that were happening. Let's start off with some of the things that are really going on with this whole like LA fire thing. It's crazy what's going on right now. So let's go into like some of the things that we are finding out. Because the more that time is going on, we're finding out more stuff. Right?
Mhm.
Here we go. California fires line up in exact same path as a new rail system, you guys. Look at this. Crazy. And that's not even the half of it. And I know that Jackie is going to be able to give us more information because she lives there. She knows a lot more. So if you're in LA, much love to you. I my heart goes out. Let's go into it.
This is Dabu7. I want to share with you guys here this image that shows where the fires are spreading in California and how it just so happens to match up with the new path or the corridor for the new rail system that they want to put in. We have all kinds of red flags connected to this event on how the fire started and all these other details about things getting burnt and the trees not, blue trash cans, and all of that. I look to break that down on the next live stream. Make sure to join me. And this is replacing the other video that had the footage of fire starting together. That was from a separate fire. So putting this out exclusively by itself so people can see the correlation here between the path of the fires and this rail system. So definitely seems something big is at play here. I break it down more on the live streams. Hope to see you there. Much love.
All right. So let's talk about this. Jackie, I know it's a lot that you're going through. You're not that far from what's going on, right?
Yeah, well, I'm far, but not actually far. But what I wanted to say, the video that you just showed, that came from the Paradise Fire that started in November of 2018. So the video that you're showing is kind of an old video, but it goes into play because they've been talking about a high-speed rail in California for years. So that particular video there was right after they had the Paradise Fire in November of 2018 because people were saying how the trees were burning from inside out and structures were burning and cars would be burning, but then the insides would still be intact. So that particular video right there, they were talking about the high-speed rail, which they've been talking about for a while. So that's where that video came from.
Oh, wow. Wow. So this has already happened before, but they're just
Yeah.
happen to focusing on that at that moment.
Right, that particular video right there, they had the fire in Paradise, and that's when they were thinking because they had to rebuild Paradise as well. That's in Northern California, and I can't remember how many lives were lost in that particular fire, but the pattern was the same as the fire in LA. There would be structures that would be still standing, and then structures next door were burned. Trees were burning from inside out. So it's the same pattern as the one that we have in LA.
So is there any similarity to what happened in Hawaii to what's going on in LA?
Yes, it is. Because they've been talking about a smart city, like I stated the other day. They've been talking about smart cities for quite a while. So the patterns are basically the same because, like I said, you have structures burning. Somebody's house next door might completely be demolished and yours was still standing. And trees don't normally burn from inside out. But with that particular fire, it might be a little bit different because they haven't really gave an investigation of the LA fire yet. But with that particular fire that burned in 2018 of November, PG&E admitted to starting that fire after the investigation was, performed. Weeks of investigation was done. They basically came on and admitted to the public that they were the cause of the fire because the wires had got too hot and they were supposed to shut off the power and they refused to do that. So that's what started that fire in 2018.
Wow, that's crazy. So let's talk to our panel about what we all think about this whole thing. Sugar Love, what are your thoughts? And then we're gonna go to Shay Flambe. Shouts out to the Next Level Entertainment, Shay Flambe. Thank you. Sugar Love, what's your thoughts?
I really believe, being that it's in calculated spaces, I think they're trying to reset. And like we was talking about the other day, they want to build this smart city and they want to get ready for the Olympics, but they want full control. And for them to have full control and for nobody to argue back with you talking about what they don't want, they burn it down. That's an old practice when they want to redo the neighborhood.
Right. It's easier to get rid of everything versus try to build around it, right? Shay Flambe, what are your thoughts? Shay.
Salutation, ladies. Hi in heaven are y'all goddesses.
Hi, how you doing?
Highly favored, beyond measurement. Thank you for asking. My thoughts is karma. I believe it's Queen California coming in and uprooting the uninhabitables. I also feel like a lot of this stuff, like the previous person said, I just heard the talking because I'm in a meeting, but I know somebody hinted on it about the original way of, without being confrontational or without anybody having to say anything, just clean the slate by cultivating. Those are my thoughts.
So here's another thing that's been going on too, is that we have had like people like Allie Carter, we've had people like Jaguar Wright, people talking about that there's like a sub thing underneath LA, but this is not a new concept, right? Everybody have always known that there is a sub city underneath California. Let's get into the subtropolis of California so that we understand this is not a new concept. No one is up here. They're not like I don't know. People. So what they did is that people like that are really into like the conspiracies, whatever, are driving around pretending like, okay, this is like we're escaping people that are trying to like put us into sexual slavery, whatever. But bottom line is that like, dude, this has always existed. This subtropolis has been around for a very long time. Okay, let's get into that. Let's go.
Surface above. It's real, and it's right here in the United States.
Subtropolis. Decades ago, limestone was mined here for concrete and asphalt. What's left is space. A lot of space.
Okay, so what's down here right now? We have 6 million square feet of buildings leased to 55 companies. There's 1,700 employees that run around here and go to work every day.
It's a massive industrial park, all underground.
Do you ever worry like the world could come to an end upstairs and you guys would just be down here safe, toiling away, right? I feel like Fort Knox.
Security is a big selling point. Subtropolis is basically disaster proof. Another selling point? Subtropolis is always 65 degrees. Always. What better place then to put a room full of computer servers? There's a lot of cool stuff in Subtropolis, especially in a company called Underground Vaults and Storage.
What are you going to show us? We're going to show you Hollywood right behind these doors.
Inside, aisle upon aisle of TV and movie treasures sent here by the studios for safekeeping. From the National Archives to food distributor Harris Brothers, the occupants of Subtropolis praise the predictability of doing business in a place where the sun never shines nor sets.
A large working city operating deep underground as we go about our lives on the surface above. It's real, and it's right here in the United States.
So what do you guys think about this? Let's talk about it.
I heard that Elon Musk had already started doing that because I guess the reason for that is because he feels that it's too crowded above ground. So that's the reason for the Subtropolis that they were speaking of. And I believe he took someone on a ride because it was actually on television, I want to say maybe about a week or so ago. So it's there and they're perfecting it right now. And they're also trying to get the underground bullet as well, the high-speed rail as well, underground.
Right. So here's the thing, is that you have other people that are like conspiracy theorists pretending or saying that there are people with children underground, this, that, the other. But you could clearly see that these are companies that are down there running their operations. They've been doing it for years. However, you have like people that are like trying to create fear amongst people like, oh, okay, well, this is where the children go. People like Allie Carter and her mother, you know, things like that. So what do you think about that? Do you think this is like a fear-mongering tactic that people are using?
I don't think it's a fear-mongering tactic. I believe everybody knows that when people are in fear, some people actually want to know more, and some people are intrigued by fear. But I don't think it's a fear-mongering tactic. I think it's basically people that are trying to change the mindset of other people to believe in something that they believe in. Now, that's just my personal opinion. I don't think it's a fear-mongering tactic because it's been there for years. So this is nothing new. When you think about it, we have these tunnels that go from the East Coast to the West Coast. These tunnels have been there for years.
Thank you. So these tunnels have been there for years. But what they do is they try to like make it out to be like, oh, this is where the children are, and this, that, the other. And what it really boils down to is that you have a person like Allie Carter, who, when it really comes down to, we find out that, oh no, she was taken by this woman, and now this woman is like using her to promote or to create fear within other people. And what that's called is a psyop, a psychological operation, you guys. Please do not be fooled by psychological operations. And I will get into that later on. Let's really get into what's real and what's not, okay? So when it comes down to the California fires, what is real and what's not? So Jackie, can you like give us an idea of what is real and what's not? What's real and what's fake when it comes down to this?
What is real and what's not real? First of all, trees do not burn from inside out. Normal things burn on the opposite. They don't burn from inside out. So that in itself is, I would say, a psyops because trees don't burn from inside out.
So that means there's probably like some kind of a device that is probably creating these fires. From what you understood about the fires being, is how did they start?
They haven't really said how the fires started, but they're trying to get the public to believe now that humans are starting the fires. Now, that may be the case in some areas, but this is my personal opinion. I don't believe humans actually started the initial fire because as of today, we have 40,660 acres as of today that are still on fire. And we have 24 fatalities so far. And then we have 16 people unaccounted for. They're still missing, and that count could still go up. So they really haven't said, but they're trying to throw the public off because this was not a human. They were trying to say it was fireworks. I think today is Wednesday, on Monday or Tuesday, I believe. They want to say it was from fireworks, but I highly doubt that. I highly doubt it.
What are your thoughts on the whole thing? Like, let's talk to the panel.
Are you speaking to me?
Oh no, Sugar Love.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Shay Flambe. Let's talk about what you guys are in your mind when you like see this. What are your thoughts? Sugar Love, you still there? Okay. Well, what I'm gonna do is while people get like their like things together, we're gonna like show this video real quick. I'm gonna show this and we'll like get our like live together, like our audio together. So go ahead and play this.
The worst fire in its history. Foothills of the Santa Monica Mountains. The Palisades typically escape damage as Santa Ana winds blow past, since the winds will usually blow any fire up to the north. However, this time, hurricane-force winds drove the flames directly into the neighborhood, reducing many homes to ashes. On January 7th, around 10:20 a.m. local time, a live camera with Alert California, a UC San Diego program to monitor wildfires and disasters in real time, picks up smoke rising. This is the first sighting of the Palisades fire. 6 minutes later, PlaneSpotter at LAX catches first plumes of smoke on its live stream.
Not what we want to see here in Southern California. Fire has now broke out.
At 10:58 a.m., resident David Hansen received a video from his mother showing thick orange smoke billowing outside her house on Piedra Morada Drive. The fire size was upgraded from 10 to 200 acres, while containment remained at 0%.
We're in the Palisades Highlands and the fire road is literally on fire.
David Hansen drove to reach his mother and recorded the Palisades fire as it burned an entire hillside beside the road. From his mother's backyard, David filmed helicopters dropping water onto the nearby fires. He tells ABC News he saw them hovering over the edge of Santa Ynez Reservoir and were using a hose to draw up water. The fire spread rapidly, and flames encroached on David's mother's yard. Neighbors rallied together, using water from swimming pools to fight the advancing fire. With 2 more zones ordered to evacuate and 3 new evacuation warnings issued, David decided to drive out. But with high volumes of vehicles trying to evacuate, and with 3 road closures on the Pacific Coast Highway, escaping the flames proved to be difficult for residents. As David drives, he films the road filled with abandoned cars on Palisades Drive. Firefighters are seen battling the flames. David and his mother make it out safe from the flames, and he tells ABC News that thanks to the effort of quick-thinking neighbors, David's mother's home has for now survived.
We're through the fire.
Evacuation shelters are placed around the city, and Governor Newsom declares a state of emergency in California. By night, reports show that the Palisades fire has grown to 1,262 acres, and 2 additional fires occur nearby, Eaton Fire and Hearst Fire. Windy conditions complicated firefighting efforts.
We're getting a 70 knots wind speed. We're going to have to shut down water dropping operations. Also, cancel with 2 additional copters.
January 8th, 12:29 a.m. Palisades fire size has grown to 2,921 acres and is upgraded to 11,802 by 11:45 a.m.
Unfortunately, we have 2 reported fatalities to civilians, unknown cause at this time, and we do have a number of significant injuries.
Lydia Fire, north of the 3 active fires.
See how they name him like almost like a hurricane, right? Lydia Fire, so-and-so fire, this fire. Let's talk about that. Is that a normal thing where they like really name the fires and stuff like that?
They name the fires according to the area that they're in. That's how those are the areas that are up in LA. Just like the Paradise Fire, it was Paradise, California. So those are like little suburbs where those fires have started. But as of today, we have, first it was 10 million people. Now they're saying it's 82,400 people are still under evacuation order. And they were saying that they're hoping that the winds will die down. But they're not certain because everybody that lives in California know people that live in California. The Santa Ana winds can take a turn at any given time. There's no one specific direction. It can start in one direction and all of a sudden it can turn around and come right back to the same direction it started. So the winds are very unpredictable because of the Pacific Ocean. It's very hard to predict how those winds are going to be.
Any like comments, you guys?
Yeah. Hey. Okay. Can I go back just a little bit?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. When you was asking about the previous question, I can't remember exactly, But all of these things that you guys are getting a chance to experience is more of for those. It doesn't matter about being conscious, woke, anything of the sort. If you have been in denial of certain things, this is the eon to prove, to show like nothing is new up under the sun. Most of these things are, of course, man-made. But for those who say, that's a conspiracy theory. Well, did you not go to elementary and do science projects and you had a hypothesis where you just thought what was going to happen? It's the same thing. But now you guys get to see with your own eyes, and it's actually closer to home, and that these people patent everything. Everything. All of these are patents. You can look them up. It doesn't matter about them renaming it. It's just like the quarantine. It was renamed to bring the village back, for us to come back together as a nation, as a people, as a unit, to support one another. That's all it was preparing us for. And now that we're still not being prepared, now we get to watch other states go through the same thing again. This is not California's first time going through this same thing. They did it over 2,000 years for the diamonds. That's how they end up taking over it. This is all this is gentrification, is propaganda, and to show ownership and abuse their authority. All of them are doing the same thing. It's just a different method and a way of going about it. And if we allow these individuals to continuously do what they've been doing for eons.
You know what, Jackie, that she makes a good point. So how many Black communities have been destroyed by this fire?
There's been quite a bit. There's been quite a bit of Black. A lot of people, they haven't been showing on the mainstream media is not going to show everything. That's the problem. They're going to show like the rich and the famous, but there have been quite a few Black communities that have been destroyed, because Altadena is not just Caucasian community. There have been a lot of Black communities destroyed behind this.
Right.
That's why I said it's not a black and white thing. It's just whomever is close enough to get the effect. They don't care. They do it to their own kind. So that's why I keep telling people it's not about a black and white thing. I got relatives that's in San Francisco that was here in Texas 3 years ago, and the reason why they left because they said that the economy wasn't enough. Now they're saying they got to come back here because of what's going on. I just feel so sad that we still chalking it up to colorism. It's not that at all. If these people want it, they're gonna do whatever it takes for them to gain that power and keep it.
You know, Sugar Love, do you know anything about like the how, like, when it really comes down to how we were able to obtain homes in California, and how like they're able to now that they burned down with the insurance company and this, that, the other. Let's talk about that. Do you know about that, Sugar Love? You there?
Talking to me?
Yeah. No, Sugar Love.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't know. All right, so let's. I'm gonna just Sugar Love is just there. So let's talk about like how this is going to affect Black homes, Black people in the community, and how like they actually like literally like took the okay, they took what happened is that they actually took the insurance companies took away insurance for these homes. So imagine that you have a home, and then all of a sudden you are with State Farm, and State Farm says, you know what? Guess what? We're not covering fire. And then next thing you know, there's a huge fire. This is the type of thing that is going on in that situation, right? So let's get into that. Like, why is it that so California was one of the first places that Black people went to. Hey, what's up, Jackie?
I'm sorry, I got kicked out. It knocked me out.
Yeah.
I was going to answer that question for you as far as the insurance companies are concerned. This is how that goes with that. A lot of people do not know, but two of the biggest, actually it has been a total of 11, and I'm pretty sure more are going to follow. But the two biggest insurance companies, State Farm and Allstate, have pulled out of California. Their reasoning is, so they say, is because they wanted to raise the rates in California because everybody knows California has fires every year. There's no time limit as to when these fires start. They wanted to inadvertently continue to raise the rates of the homeowners and the renters, and California Insurance Commissioner refused. So at that particular time, they decided if we cannot raise the rates and control it how we want to control it, we're pulling out. There has been a total of 11 insurance companies that have left the state.
You know what? I actually did a live and I was talking about like what about the people that are like in these like luxury homes? Do they have insurance that covers fire? And I said that most luxury homes are not covered by the same insurance companies that cover like the middle class homes. They have a whole nother secure insurance system. Do you know anything about
They
that?
have a trust. They have a trust. That's what
They have a trust. They have a different insurance company, but I do know for a fact if they can hire their own private firefighters, they have a different insurance than the average person. Theirs is considered a trust, like she said.
There was a guy that actually had his own firefighting, like a private firefighting firm.
A lot of them did. A lot of them did. He's not the only one. A lot of them did. Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. So that's the type of stuff that's going on in this situation, you guys. So it's not just like a matter of just get insurance. No, like the insurance company have pulled out in the situation.
Starts around 2:07 p.m. At 5:57 p.m., CAL FIRE reported that the Sunset Fire in the famed Hollywood Hills had started, bringing the total to 5 active fires in the state. The Palisades Fire remained the largest, reaching 17,234 acres by the end of the day, with 0% containment. Weather forecasts indicated another round of Santa Ana winds expected from January 9th to January 10th, with a new high-pressure system building from the north, fueling more gusty winds. The Sunset Fire, which crossed more than 40 acres, was fully contained, but at 3:12 p.m., Kenneth Fire started to burn 50 acres in West Hills. On January 10th, the Palisades Fire has grown to nearly 20,000 acres with 6% containment, and the Eaton Fire to nearly 14,000 acres with 0% containment. Governor Newsom calls for an independent investigation into the, quote, loss of water pressure to local fire hydrants and the reported unavailability of water supplies from the Santa Ynez Reservoir.
Let's talk about the loss of water and like how it has affected being able to effectively like fight this fire. Let's talk about that.
Well, the reservoirs were diverted for one. That's the reason for the reservoirs being in the condition they were in, because the water was diverted. And a lot of people don't know, and I said this the other day when we were talking about this, the Resnick family owns, I want to say 60% of the water in California, but the other part comes out of Colorado. And a lot of people did not know that California purchases their water from Colorado. And we should not have to do that.
Why can't they use like the actual ocean water? And let me tell you something. I actually like covered this on my this one stream I did, talking about like the fact that they just didn't want to mess up the plains and this, that, the other. Go into that about the water.
As far as they're purchasing the water from Colorado?
Yeah, why is that like a thing?
That part I don't know, but I know they've been purchasing their water from Colorado for quite a while. And the other part comes out from the Resnick family that owns the pomegranate farms, the pistachio farms. So he has a major part and a major investment in the water supply in California as well.
Which is crazy. So therefore you have like this water supply issue. You have all these issues that's going on in like this whole land. And you have people that are like pretty much just going through it. So here we go. I'm like, hell no, I don't want to do that. So I was like, listen, I'm not doing that. Did y'all see? Hold on. You know, I'm steady talking, thinking that y'all can see my screen. Yeah, burn it down, buy the property for the low. I'm sorry, I thought you guys could see what I was looking at, y'all. But yeah, this is what I'm doing here. So I do plane de-icing. So when it's like a snowstorm, that's what I'm doing. I'm up on this thing. I'm driving the truck that is holding the person that is doing this job. So that's what I do, and it saves lives. It makes sure that you guys, you know, don't take off in these planes, and you know, because what happens is if that's not done, the plane will not be able to take off. It'll crash. So that's a very important job. You know what I'm saying? And what I was showing earlier is that you see how close these trucks are, how close up on this engine it is right here. That engine is on. It'll suck you into that engine. If you get too close to it, it'll suck you into it. You can't get out the truck either with that engine on because it'll suck you into the engine. You see how big that is? And there's even bigger planes than this. There's huge planes that'll jack you up. Okay. So you have to be, and their whole thing is you can't make no mistakes. You can't crash into this. You can't hit this plane because that's millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know? So, and people's lives are on the line. You have to do this. It's almost like being a firefighter or something like that. You have to do this in order for the plane to be able to take off and not crash. Because you're accelerating at a very high speed, they have to make sure that ice is not forming on the wings when they're taking off. There's a reason why I'm showing that it'll lose lift and velocity, speed and lift. So that's what I do. And when they during the snowstorm, and what'll happen is that they will keep you out there for days. You'll be out there for days not getting no sleep doing this. You sleep in the truck. You sit on the runway the entire time. You sit on the runway, and you're out there for hours, like maybe 12 hours, sometimes 8 to 12 hours. You're just in the truck waiting for the plane to come, and you're just sitting up there hitting these planes. One plane come in, you got to de-ice it, a bigger plane, smaller planes, this, that, the other. And that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? So, people don't even realize that this is even happening when they're at the plane, because the plane will just pull in somewhere. You don't even know. You just see kind of like this fog coming over, this mist. You don't even know what's happening, but this is what's going on, So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. But getting back to the fire. So in Texas, it's this winter Arctic blast. In LA, there are these terrible fires. So they're finding out more and more things. Okay. One thing that they're trying to figure out is, can the firefighters use ocean water to put out the wildfires? Why aren't they just using the water? Since these people that are crazy want to take over the water supply, why can't they use ocean water, right? They're close to the ocean, right? Let's see.
The short answer is yes, they can, but it's more complicated than simply going to the beach to transport water to the hillsides of LA. First, there's the issue of accessibility. California has the largest civilian aviation fleet for firefighting in the world, but only a few of those planes are capable of scooping up water from the Pacific Ocean. These Super Scooper CL-415s have been used to help with the Palisades fire and can haul 14,000 pounds of water at a time. But last week, one of the 2 planes that were used had to be temporarily taken out of service because it was damaged by an unauthorized drone. The strong Santa Ana winds that have been driving these fires also make using aircraft more difficult.
And unauthorized drone took out the planes.
CAL FIRE says that once the winds are above 30 miles per hour, the fire retardant and...
Do you hear me? An unauthorized drone took out 2 of the planes. That's like to actually stop the situation more. What is going on? Now we have the drones over there in New Jersey. What is going on that the drones are going to be messing up planes and cannot fly? It hits the plane, $1 million plane. You understand? And I'll talk about this. Let's go into it.
Water ends up only a mist instead of a steady rain. The second issue is that salt water is corrosive. Some of the firefighting aircraft are only built for fire retardants, not water, and especially not salt water, because the salt can damage equipment. Fire hydrants and many other firefighting tools are made of metal, which can rust when exposed to oxygen and water. Salt speeds up the corrosion process.
So you mean to tell me a drone messed up one of the planes? What are the odds? Okay, a plane is flying. That's another thing. They're gonna probably come up with some new rules on these drones, because the people are using their drones to take pictures, of the fires, and then these planes are trying to do their job, and drones are getting in the way, and then messing up thousands of dollars a plane, $100,000 planes that's used to actually fight the fire. Why would you only have 2 planes though? Why would you only have 2? Why? So now the one plane then is out of service. It seemed like a whole bunch of just just a bunch of mistakes being made.
You said, why would they only have 2 planes?
Immediately to fight fires because
yes. Why is there only 2 planes? Let's stop this. Why are there only 2 planes?
Well, that's easy to answer, because the less planes you have, the less fires they can put out.
Exactly. Man, Jackie, just common sense, right? And I'm over here why is there? I'm mad. I'm okay, why is this doing like this? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Less fires you can put out, less planes. Here we go.
In Southern California's dry conditions.
You know what else has a long-term effect on the environment? Fire. What are we talking about here? Do what you got to do to put the fires out, bro. You talking about the environment? What about the fire? So the fire is better for the environment. Ashes are better for the environment than salt water. What are we talking about here? That's crazy.
regions may not be able to tolerate lingering salt in the soil. In general, crops and plants tend to struggle to absorb water when soil salinity is too high for their environment, and changes in the soil could last for years, adding further strain on areas that are already feeling the impacts from fire damage.
Man, you know what this is similar to? In Texas, when it snows, they don't put down salt, which could melt the snow. They put down sand. They put down sand, you guys. Now they can easily. So what'll happen is it'll snow out here, and it'll turn into ice, and it'll be black ice. Cars will be slipping. It's so dangerous. It's more dangerous in Texas when it snows than it is in Detroit, where it could be like loads and loads of snow. Hey, Master T, Burrow, you're right. Plane probably closer to 1 million taxpayer down. Exactly. So this little drone that probably cost $100 just destroyed $1 million plane. They're gonna have to come out with some laws about the drone. You know what I'm saying? What there needs to be like a thing. You can't fly during these times or whatever. Because that's crazy how a plane got destroyed.
You sound like a robot.
Whatever. Oh, here we go. Here's TikTok. Oh, no, I'm going fast. I'm going fast.
I'm like,
I could slow it down.
I'm like,
no, I have it going real fast on the thing. But, yeah. It's like, like real fast, like talking. This new thing where they like start to they start to monitor your TikTok use if you're under too much. Anyway, so Eddie Griffin had a lot to say. I actually respect Eddie Griffin.
What happens? They stop you?
He had a lot to say about the fires too. Oh no. They'll be like, you've been on TikTok too long. Put this number in.
What?
Yeah, that's a new thing on TikTok. Like, oh, you've been scrolling too long. Because I was scrolling my ass off on TikTok. So
then after that, what number you have to put in?
1, 2, 3, 4.
For what?
Wow.
To like stop it from like to like say that I want to continue to scroll.
Wow.
You didn't know that? Yeah.
No.
It'll like stop. Like, okay, you're done. Watch this. We're gonna do it again. Watch this. Was interesting. Let's check out what he's saying.
Let's get right to it. LA is on fire. Now, a lot of people saying it's to cover up the pedophile trail, and all of a sudden the water ain't working. And hold on, 60% of the water rights is owned by this couple. What's their name? Yeah, the wonderful company is owned by this husband and wife team. They own Pistachio, they own Fiji water. I stopped drinking any of this around the month ago. Let them motherfuckers go broke. Feeding the pistachios and almonds, all that goddamn water. Meanwhile, people's houses burning down, dying of thirst and all these sons of bitches. And the regulators who allowed them motherfuckers to own 60% of the goddamn water. Fire them motherfuckers too, goddammit. What the fuck is y'all problem? That is public water. We built the dam that's holding that water and all that shit with taxpayers' dollars. How the fuck y'all gonna sign it over to this goddamn couple? Sons of bitches. Let's pray for the motherfuckers out there that houses is burning down and shit, unless they pedophiles. If they pedophiles, come let that shit burn. Cause yeah, I know what you're doing. You're burning the evidence up, sons of bitches. But we still gonna catch you. And let somebody do some research. In the rich neighborhoods, who would all?
You know what's so crazy is that they were even they arrested a few people with flamethrowers and all type of stuff. You know, people were trying to burn things down, coming to neighborhoods and setting things on fire. Who do you think hired them to do that? Or is it just crazy people that whenever something crazy happened, they just feed into it even more?
I think those people just fed into it. Some of those people just fed into it. Yeah.
Really?
I think some of those people just fed into it because, there always has to be some type of iron in the fire diversion. I think some of those people just fed into it for more chaos. It's just more chaos. It confuses people.
Chaos agents like that they can do a certain thing, and then you'll see copycats that'll come out and try to do the same. What is that? What is that people do that? You'll see a person. You'll see a unaliving of people in schools and stuff like that, and then somebody else will copycat that.
Yeah.
It's weird how people are. They'll do weird stuff like that. Like, why do people do that? So there's fires going on, and there's people going into neighborhoods with flamethrowers and try to create more fires. And how are these fires jumping from this place that? It's because people are setting fires.
And these are not
using that as an opportunity. Let me tell you something about Detroit.
But you know what,
Go
DJ?
ahead, go ahead.
These are not regular fires. The houses are being burnt to the ground. That means
Yes.
everything in it.
Yes. Yes.
I can see that. See, well, the way is, come on. People got a lot of stuff in there, down to the refrigerator. Refrigerators don't burn. But refrigerators
Thank you.
Yeah.
They got
Yes.
stuff in there that don't burn. The tub burnt too.
Yes.
Them
Right.
things
Tub
don't
burn.
burn.
I mean, down to the ground, bro.
To the ground.
I'm like, well, what
There's
happened to
something to it. There's something more to it.
If
Yeah, there's
nothing
something.
else lasts, the refrigerator and the toilet bowl lasts.
Yeah, there's no toilet, nothing like so.
I'm like, well,
They got this
hold
thing
up.
in Detroit. I'm not sure if it still goes on. It's called Devil's Night, right? Devil's Night is the night before Halloween. I'm not sure if they still have this going on, but the night before Halloween, they had this thing called Devil's Night where they set houses on fire. I don't know why, but they set houses on fire. So if you piss off your neighbor, your house could end up getting caught on fire. And what happens is that this the night before Halloween, or I think the Friday before Halloween or something like that. I think it's the night before Halloween. It's Devil's Night, and there's actual people that have to walk the neighborhood to make sure people's houses don't get cut off.
I think them are rituals.
And it's so prevalent in Detroit that it's so bad. I'm not sure if they still have this going on in Detroit. If someone's from Detroit, please make a comment and let me know if this is still happening. But back when I was living in Detroit before I moved to Texas, you would be scared. Like at first, what you were saying, Sugar Love?
I think them are rituals.
Oh no, it's not just rituals. It's people like setting their own house on fire to get the insurance monies. Exactly.
That's
people would use Devil's Night for like if you had like a dope house that you didn't want. Yeah, okay. The fires are literally exploding. They're exploding. What the hell? Well, from what? It's you believe that you're being attacked? You know, come up here, Riddler. You're in LA, huh? What's up? I wonder why TikTok keeps trying to kick me out of here. That's interesting. I just did this. Why is TikTok doing this? I forgot that you're in LA. The fires are literally exploding. You believe you're being attacked, so it sounds like explosions are going up. That's crazy. I'm so sorry to hear that, Riddler, because I know that you're in LA. I mean, are they hitting your neighborhood? I mean, are they in like the black neighborhoods, or are they only hitting the rich neighborhoods? Not to be laughing, but are they hitting like actual literal like family neighborhoods, or are they only in like the kind of Palisades? Is the Palisades a rich area? It sounds like the Palisades was like a rich spot, you know? Like all the Hollywood people got hit.
It's closer to actually Highway 101. It's near the water.
You know, I heard there are some. All right, so you're saying it's by the water.
It's near the water. Yeah, a lot of the mansions are over that way. Yeah.
So is the Palisades a rich neighborhood or like a middle class neighborhood?
There's rich people over there, but then there's some other people that are not as rich as some of the others. But in Altadena, everyday people like me and you, some of those people do live in Altadena, which is not far. But in Palisades, there's a lot of bigger homes in Palisades there. Yeah.
Right. So it started off in that bigger area. That's weird. Like so. So then it like goes into the smaller. Maybe they did that to like make it not seem like it was just, you know, the niggas getting fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, we're gonna start off in the rich neighborhood. Then we're gonna let it just go on.
No, but that's done by design, right?
Thank you.
If they didn't want them big old mansions burnt up, they would not got burnt up.
Yes. Yes. That was the reason for it. She's right.
Right. So that's crazy.
Just like when they had that hurricane was in Louisiana. Why none of them rich houses got burnt? None of them got drowned out. Only the
That's right.
place, only the poor places got. So if it was that bad, none of their houses went down. They
Hmm.
didn't get wet or nothing, and they was across the street. One side was the rich side, the other side was the poor side, and no water go over there.
And their houses did not get messed up. That's crazy.
Mm-mm.
So there's something to this. You're not in LA. Okay. I heard they are some middle class. You're from LA. That's what it is. You're from LA. Right? Anyways, yeah, that's crazy that these fires are exploding. They might be it might be an attack. It could be I definitely know that the flamethrowers, they're hitting the areas with the money.
This is also called, this is what they've been talking about for the longest, the reset. It's the
Devil's Night, that's
reset.
what they used to do in Detroit. During
They've been,
Devil's Night, what would happen? Go ahead.
they've been talking about this for the last, I don't know how many years, the reset. This is part of the reset. That's all it is.
Right, to reset everybody else, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you know what? Most of the people have other houses, other world. You know, that's why they're not like really tripping like that. They tripping,
Exactly.
tripping like that. You know what I'm saying? They tripping, but they're not really tripping. Like, 'cause honestly, if I had a house and I know that whatever, I'm like, I'm going to be like on the news, everything. But it ain't nothing. No, I mean, except for Mel Gibson. You know, he like, you know, what's going on. And his people would burn their own houses up for the insurance. However, what they said is that they cut people's insurance for fire damage this year, certain people. But some of those houses probably burnt them. They probably let their houses burn to get the insurance money and move somewhere else. Maybe they was, you know, whatever. They could probably get a lot of money.
But this is the thing with that.
I believe.
This is the thing with that.
These
Now,
fires
just
are
think
going to
about,
bankrupt the insurance company. The other line, what's up?
just think about all the people that have paid into these insurance, the everyday people. Just set it aside for a second and look at this here. Think about the millions of people that have paid for this insurance for years and years and years. Are they going to reimburse these people their money back?
They're not. They're giving them like $700 a month.
Right, that's my point. So what does that tell you?
And then the insurance will like, oh, hey, listen, I already said you couldn't.
The rest has to be done by Congress.
Right. And guess
Yes.
what? It's about in the same time that niggas are asking for reparations. Same thing. I mean, people don't even really see the connection, but okay. Can't get reparations if you're like going through a national tragedy. Let's go into it. And then you've got other outside influences. That's the fact we have America that's in kind of a war type of state. Hey, what's up, Riddler? How you doing? Hey. Okay. Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going?
All right.
So you were saying that you feel like that we're being attacked?
Well, yeah. Who keeps saying hello?
Huh? No one's saying hello to the city. When these things are going on, you know. So that's why I really pray for the people of California. I don't understand how this is continuing on like this. And I don't understand. People should create a lawsuit against this family, the wonderful family. There should be a class action lawsuit. First of all, I'm not sure who cut the electricity off to the city. What is going on? You cut the electricity off, so the pumps can't even pump the water. Like, what are we doing here? Why would they not be prepared? They have fires every year. This is a whole season of fires going on. Every year is a fire season. I don't even know why people even live in California, to be honest, because I mean, it's beautiful, but all the earthquakes and fires and tsunamis, there's too much going on over there. You know what I'm saying? It's too much. It's too many natural disasters over in that sucker. You know, Riddler keeps coming in and out. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure if she's losing. Are you losing losing your connection? I don't know. You keep coming in and out. Okay, but anyways, yeah, that's what's crazy about all this. It's like, how is the pumps not working? You know, and you know, a similar thing happens here when they have these freezes in Texas, right? The grid goes down. but the grid doesn't go down because because of the natural disaster. Encore decides to shut the grid off. You
Well,
understand what I'm saying?
can I
So
say
the
something,
election
DJ,
stuff
to
is
that?
like, oh, it's a freeze. We're gonna shut off.
Can I say something to that? They're shutting the power off, but just think, they're trying to make everything in California electric. So just think of what happens if everything is electric and there's no more gas at all in California, and the grid is shut off in fires. Think about that.
Right. That means everybody's in duress. Okay.
Exactly.
That's what Elon Musk says, do not get rid of gas.
Yes, he did. And they're still talking about by 2030, I want to say 2035, it might be between 2035 and 2038. They're trying to get rid of all gas stoves and make everything electric. And he did specifically state, and he's the one that makes the electric cars, you're still going to need gas. But they're not listening. That goes along with the smart city. Everything's at the power of a button. That's what they want.
And all that is to be able to track everybody's like thing and be able to cut people off whenever they
Yes,
want.
whenever they want.
Exactly. So that's what it really boils down to, is that people are trying to control humanity. Period. You know what I'm saying? It's just control, you know? But so the grid. And then you have people freezing to death. And then people don't know that some people are stupid. They don't know not to they're trying to stay warm in their car. They got their car in the garage, even though they got the garage door open, they'll be inside their car in the garage and then end up dying from carbon monoxide poisoning because you can't be in an enclosed space with your car running, ma'am and sir. Please don't do that. This type of stuff happens during these natural disasters. And I don't think that this is all the way natural either. You know,
Exactly.
it's looking too much like Maui. There's certain colors of things that are not getting affected, like certain trees that are like not burning. I heard like if you had blue roofs, it wasn't burning those houses. A lot of weird things are going on.
Well, to us,
some people that were rich enough, they stayed and they was able to. I'm not sure who it was. Actually, had their own fire department come out and had a private fire company come and fight the fire, so it didn't. I don't know who it was.
It was quite a few of the rich. It was quite a few. It was quite a few.
Quite a few. So
yes. It wasn't just one particular person. It was quite a few that were able to do that, to afford that service. Yes.
That's crazy.
And
so there was like several like rich people that had their own fire department.
They were able to pay for private fire service. Yes.
We can't hear you, DJ. Maybe it's.
Can you hear me at all? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, what is going on? That's crazy. Like, really?
What's going on is you're gonna have to wait till they start the rebuilding, right?
Yes.
After they finish with all the scamming, because all of a sudden they already pushed the black people out their part, right? I'm talking about the predominant, like we seen the other day, the predominant black people who families built them homes and they went through the redlining and everything. So
I think that's also what like what's his name, Mel Gibson was saying, like that really it was really to push the black people out, but also like to like make this whole thing
smart
get everybody
city
out for them to like do that smart city. So but my thing is, who wants to stay in a house and you surrounded by burnt down houses?
They're not gonna be.
They're not gonna be.
I mean, you gotta remember a lot of them.
You know,
hold up, DJ. You gotta remember a lot of them people's houses are big, right? They ain't gotta leave their house. They ain't gotta look out their window and see no burnt house. A lot of these people got big houses, so they can stay in their house and right. They don't have to see it. But the thing is, people are not worrying about. They just thinking about LA. Remember, smart cities is going to be all the states
all over.
eventually. So other states should need to start getting ready.
Yes.
Right,
To
for them to
see,
Yes.
burn,
to
burn their
see,
shit down.
right, to see what's coming. Like they may burn this one down, they may do this to that, they may do this to that. But
Mm-hmm.
even who, like I said, they've been doing that for centuries. It's like burn it down, and the next thing you know, here come pop up something they call beautiful. But the bad part about it is we are now going to be in the outside jail.
That's it. That's it. They already have investors coming in.
You save your house, but you're the only house standing, and all you
Mm-hmm.
smelling is the decaying and burning of everything around you. That's
They already have
it's
investors coming in offering money for
we haven't
people, and their houses are still
said that many people
smoldering.
have passed away from this, but it's just already have investors coming in, you guys.
Yes, they
Already have.
do.
The
Let's
house
talk
ain't
about the
even finished
investors.
burning to the ground yet, and they're ready to sell it.
I
I'm
heard
like,
that.
they
I
damn.
heard that. I don't know if I heard it from you, Jackie, that when the house get to burning, somebody come up to you and say, "Hey, you want to
That
sell
was
your house?"
Jackie.
That
Yeah,
was
I know.
me. They're doing that now. They're currently doing that now. Their investors are already coming in. The fire started on the 7th, and today is the 15th. They already have investors coming in. They already have investors coming in, offering people money for their burnt homes already. So that should tell people something right there. And a lot of people they're trying to band together down there saying, do not sign anything. This is what the lady says now. Do not sign anything because they're steadily coming in. I don't know where the investors are coming from. I don't know if they're coming from different cities or different states, but they're basically going to the ones that cannot afford to rebuild because they know they're destitute right now.
Mhm.
That's who they're going. They're not going to the people
I'll
that
give you
were able to afford to
100,000.
live there.
I'll give you 100,000. Just give me the property, and then I'll whatever. And even though they might have spent like 200,000, like had like a mortgage of like 200,000.
Yeah, and you gotta
like
remember, you have a lot of old actors they was able to afford the house in the 60s and 70s, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's how they got in there, but they ain't been in business in like 20-30 years, right?
Right.
So their houses, they couldn't do the upkeep and stuff anyway, right? Out with the old and with the new.
Yep.
So
exactly.
they're showing these faces like Paris Hilton and all these other people.
Mhm.
Ricky Lake, Boohoo, like so what? Ricky Lake, you probably have like another house. about
No, they
10
got plenty of houses.
They got 4 or 5 houses. They have 4 or 5 houses. They can afford it.
Like Beyonce mother hangout house. Like not her main house, but her hangout house, right? Like really.
Yes.
Right. What Eddie Griffith had to say about this.
Mm-hmm.
Already left their house and knew that the fire was coming. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Leave it in the comments. Also, they fired. I heard they fired over 60% of the fireman staff 3 to 6 months before the fire hit. So somebody knew it was coming, and wanted to make sure that the houses they wanted burned down. Google 2028 is gonna say Los Angeles smart city. So the best way to get a smart city is by burning out all the residences, and then you can start fresh and build a smart city. This is what the government is doing to you. They don't give a fuck about us. As Michael Jackson said, all I want to say is they don't give a fuck about us. And another goddamn thing, State Farm canceled fire protection on homes 3 months before the fire. Who tipped them off? Who keeps tipping off motherfuckers that a natural disaster is about to happen? Because it's not natural, it's an unnatural disaster, and State Farm need to be shut the down.
Class action lawsuit against State Farm. They just trying to raise the property value by getting rid of black people. No, I ain't the only one thinking this. So is the Palisades a black neighborhood?
No, it's a mixture. Like Sugar Love was saying, it's a mixture of some of the stars that have not like some of the stars have not, been in business for a while that have been there. It's a mixture, but they're mostly the bigger homes in Palisades.
No, don't forget, DJ. Black people have money too, so
Yeah.
it doesn't be a black neighborhood. Some people make enough money to move on up in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a neighborhood with black people with money, right? You got money.
It's an influential neighborhood. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Black people make money too. It's not like a black neighborhood, but one particular place is where a lot of black people were, which we played the video before, right? You want me to play it again, DJ?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you worried that using your home address for business
never knew
Can't
that
hear
LA
it.
had
Oh, there
these
we go.
black historical neighborhoods until it's now burning to ashes. But see, that's why I love TikTok, because I saw this video on TikTok of this when her parents' home burned down. So I started asking her about Eaton, about Altadena, and she told me this: the historic significance of Black African American Altadena and Pasadena is long-standing, if not a century or more. All of our homes that our grandparents bought after the Civil Rights Act and the Fair Housing Act are gone. The history of what these homes meant to our families who left the Jim Crow South during the Great Migration and came to LA for new opportunities is special. Altadena, Pasadena is the only place many Black families were able to buy homes because of redlining. So I put her TikTok up here, and I also put the GoFundMe information because, I told her I'd do that for her family. But it was crazy because I always knew about the Great Migration, because a lot of our people from the South, from Mississippi, from Louisiana, they went to California, they went to New York, they went to Chicago, they went to Massachusetts, they went to a lot of different places in the North and mainly to California. But I never knew we had neighborhoods, where we can buy homes and stuff like that. I never even heard of these neighborhoods until now. But I'm about to get into this article because I always love to watch the news and see what they project to the people, what they would rather show the people. And all I'm seeing them showing is a lot of Caucasian people crying. They talking about celebrities. They not showing no Black families for real, for real. They not showing the FBA. They not showing our people on the news and what they really going through. You will see it on social media, our people lost everything and stuff like that. But when you look on the news, they not showing that. So let's get right into this article. So I found this article called Blavity. Altadena, a historic Black neighborhood in Los Angeles, faces catastrophic wildfire damage. As wildfires continue to ravage Los Angeles, historic Black neighborhoods are experiencing catastrophic damage. In Altadena, one of the city's historic Black communities, a 66-year-old man tragically died while attempting to save his family home of 55 years. The wildfires are also exacerbating health issues from Black residents in these neighborhoods, many of whom already suffer from asthma and other respiratory conditions. And this is why I love my channel, because the stuff the news not talking about, that's what I want to talk about. And they not talking about for real, for real. They not talking about our people. You see them on the news, they give it whole storylines to these Caucasian families. And I have nothing against these people because they all lost everything. But when it comes to my people, we have to also tell their story too. But imagine having a home for 55 years and in minutes it's gone. Even the Altadena Senior Center is gone, full of flames, it's gone. And I heard no one talking about that on the major news networks. And then I was just sitting back, I'm like, wait, did these people plan this? Because this is too strategically done. Each city, each county, whatever, it's too strategic. It's like they hitting the buildings, the homes they really want to hit. So these people had these homes since the 1930s, 1940s. You telling me Now, this week, the last few days, is finally burning up. It's a coincidence. It's no coincidence. These people are setting these fires on purpose to move in the smart city technology, to move in for the Olympics, to get rid of evidence they trying to hide. That's what these people are doing. In addition to the loss of homes, the fires have destroyed cherished Black-owned churches, restaurants, and cultural institutions in Altadena. A significant challenge for residents is the lack of adequate insurance coverage. Many major insurance providers do not offer fire insurance in Altadena, leaving residents relying on California's basic insurance plan. The limited coverage makes it difficult for many families to afford the cost of rebuilding. And see, that's why I say they want to get rid of TikTok, because how can these insurance companies, knowing it's fires, how can these insurance companies just pull out? How can these insurance companies imagine paying insurance for all these decades? Imagine paying insurance for all these years, and all of a sudden they pull out from under you. All of a sudden they say, oh no, we deny that. Like, what's the point of insurance? It's all a scam. But they want to call this person a terrorist. They want to call this person a criminal. The real criminals are these insurance people who can get away with this. And I fear they're going to do our people dirty, because you got to look at it. They don't want our people prospering. They don't want you to have a home for 70 years that you've been keeping up on, that you've been taking care of, and this family member lived there, the next generation of your family lived there, the next generation, because that's all I've been seeing on TikTok in Altadena. That's why I'm like, damn, I'm just finding out. Bro, these people are so amazing. It's like one generation lives in the house, the next generation lives in the house. I'm like, damn, that's real family. That's how it's really supposed to be. And to learn about this, to learn about our FBA family members, to learn about our people while it's burning, that's just crazy. While national media coverage has largely focused on the destruction of million-dollar homes in affluent Los Angeles neighborhood, the Cochran firm and its partners are bringing attention to the severe impact underserved Black communities. Many of these homes that were burned in the fires were not insured for fire disaster, whether due to insurance companies recently canceling thousands of fire insurance policies or homeowners not securing fire insurance because it was not required with a mortgage, the organizers shared. So basically, they set our people up. If it's not required in the mortgage, they set our people up. And even if they did get it, their insurance companies pulled out. So this country tells you to get a job, work hard, retire, get a home, just so they can finesse you with these insurance companies. And look, I made this video to highlight what's going on in our community, because like I said, on the national news, you're not going to see them talking to our people. You might see them talking to one for a short period of time, but you're not going to see them really get to the details, because they can't show you that part. They got to show you the celebrities. They got to show you, the Malibu. They got to show you all the tourist area. They got to show you all that BS. They're not going to show you our people that came from the South, after war, that came from the South during the Great Migration. They not gonna show you that, because they don't want our people to learn that type of history. So that's why I say they have to get rid of TikTok. I found this information out on TikTok. I went to the source. This her mother and her dad home burnt down. And if you go on TikTok, just put in Altadena, and I promise you, it's going to be so many videos of people homes burning down. And then you had one man said the firefighters never came to even try to help. The ambulance never came to try to help. Even the chief firefighter said they were pulling up to the fire hydrants and wasn't any water in it. And look, we don't know whether to believe them or not, because all these people are their jobs and their politics. That's it. All I'm trying to save face. They playing politician games while people going through real life situations. They blaming each other. Everybody pointing the finger, but nobody solving anything, because I told you it's all about money. It's not about fixing anything. And now everything is blowing up literally in their face. They plan all this to happen, but it's not going the way they expect it to happen. Now they point fingers at each other. Now they lying on each other. It's all about politics. It's all about games. But when
even if you look at the fire, every frame in the house burnt down, like every pipe.
Exactly.
I mean, every frame. Like this ain't the we should. I mean, we heard of wildfires, but when you looking
Yes.
at nothing, like didn't the
Yes.
house have poles and a frame? The frame is going too.
Yes. Can I say something too, Sugar, to that too? You know, a long time ago, we've changed over the years. A long time ago, they would come in and burn your house down with torches. Now they're doing it this way. When you think about it, let's go way back for a minute. And when you think about it, a lot of people don't even question the insurance companies because, say, for instance, we're speaking of all insurance. We're saying your mortgage insurance, your car insurance. If you don't have to use that insurance, they don't send you a rebate check at the end of the year.
I always say that. I say
Exactly.
if I have forever and paid all these $1,000.
Yes.
I never
Yes.
got into an accident. Do I get my money back?
Yes. You don't even get a rebate check back.
That's the biggest scam
The
ever.
biggest scam. Thank you.
Insurance.
This is just a new way of coming in destroying because, like I said before, they came in on horses and burned your houses down. This is the new way when they don't want you there.
That's just like what if I don't want insurance? What if I want to pay out my pocket? Why do people get arrested, go to jail, or they can't drive their car without insurance? Like, what if that's probably for people who don't have money. So you pay into the insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a shame that what if I have a lot of money? I can pay out my pocket. Why I have to be penalized because I don't want to give you my money?
That's true.
That's like in somebody's house. Why I gotta be penalized if I don't want your money? What if my house burnt down? What if I don't want to fix it? What if I want to stay in it just like that? Like what is the real reason for insurance? They always say in case of, but what if I don't want it?
What happens if you don't use it? Like you said.
Right. What if I don't want it?
Exactly. They go hand in hand. Everybody knows a lot of people don't really look at it like that because they just say, okay, well, we got to do it because this is what the law says. But a lot of people really, like me and you were saying right now, they do not look at that particular statement that we just made. What happens if you do not want it, number one? Number two, what also happens if you don't use it at the end of the year? Why can I get at least a rebate check back for what I did not use?
That is the biggest scam ever.
Yes, it is. And the government's in on it, and they know they are. They are. They go hand in hand.
Just like a bank.
He wasn't really.
Now look at that. That's what I mean.
Worried about.
Everything.
I guess they live in the valley. So
just like a bank. A bank is the biggest scam ever.
Yes.
They take your money. That's how they get rich. Because so many people put their money in the bank. They invest your money.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know. And they buy properties and stuff. They don't have the money. So it's from a bank, right? And of course, they had a lot of people getting robbed, quote unquote. So you have to put your money in the bank. So now I put my money in the bank, and now y'all rich. That's
exactly.
Don't fool around and have a check. When you get a check, what they do is they say, "Oh, okay, we have to wait for 7 days."
Mm-hmm.
Money from your check.
Mm-hmm.
We know that they're like putting on the stock market, making like double off it, and then they finally, after that 7 days,
and give you a penny and give you a penny interest, right? Here's your interest. Thank you. Like, really?
They don't even do that. It's bullshit.
Oh yeah, now you gotta pay all the time to use your money.
Oh, yes, you do.
Service fee, this fee. I'm like, well, hold up now.
Don't forget the machines that they came up with for our credit cards and debit cards. We are reaping that because we are paying their fees to use the machine that they created
to get our money. Yeah,
to get our money. Mm-hmm. A point of sales machine is paid for by the consumer, not the banks.
Straight up. Maybe that it doesn't hit the valley, but apparently there's a fire season, you know? So why would State Farm cancel fire insurance? It's almost like people canceling hurricane insurance, knowing there's going to be a hurricane in Florida. You live, how are you going to cancel the very thing of insurance that you know that is a natural disaster that hits in that area? That's like saying you can't have earthquake insurance. You know, California gets hit by earthquakes all the time.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if this is all Texas, but I know certain parts of Texas.
Is it black properties by those?
No, but I don't know if it's all Texas, but some parts of Texas, you can't even get insurance for your car. So when them big behind snow things fall, it's not covered.
Mm.
You know,
Wow.
when it start raining, them big old sleep balls keep
Yes. Yes. The hell.
That when that hail start falling in Texas, that's not covered by insurance.
Wow.
So what that?
So basically, it's like a punishment. It's like a punishment because they know that that's something we can't control.
Right.
Oh no! And then they have a bunch of like roofers come out and try to beg you to like get them to do your roof over.
Well, for the longest, flood insurance in California, this was before the fire. Well, California has a fire every year, but let me rectify what I just said. Actually, California burns damn near 12 months out the year. I'm being serious. There's not really a fire season. They say it's a fire season because it happens more often than others, but there's a fire every month somewhere in the state of California.
Really?
And that's no lie. Every month there is a fire burning somewhere. For the longest, people in the state of California, it would rain in the winter months. For the longest, they were not even insuring homeowners and renters with flood insurance. Now that they've got rid of the fire insurance, I'm pretty sure they're going to snatch that away as well, because for the longest, flood was not covered in California for the longest.
Watch this. Watch this. Those areas, they've been trying to take back cities or areas a lot of white people live in. I don't know. Got him. Yeah, let me see. I heard Mel Gibson said something like that. Mel Gibson.
Remember, them are paid actors to speak too, right? Let me find that. Yeah, them are paid actors to speak. Yeah, we gotta remember that they are entertainers. They're actors, right? So yeah, you telling us the truth for what's going on, but what we really have to worry about is becoming a prison, living in the prison.
In the prison, in the smart cities, is going to be a prison.
You know, actually, in Detroit, what happened? Because we've had fires in the black neighborhoods, since the '60s during the riots. There's always fires getting. What I'm saying? Whenever an uprising happens, people just decide they want to burn down the neighborhood. So they had fires like in Detroit, and and they had this thing called the White Flight, and you had all these like black Jewish people leave the town and kind of abandon it, and then all the black people moved in. So it's interesting what's going to happen in this situation where you have a lot of middle class families. I did see some black people like that were crying, outside.
No, what they're doing is, because they did that in New York and Harlem also. They burned down the houses or whatever, right? So then what they did was they sold the houses for $1.
Mm-hmm.
You just had to do all the fixing up, right? So they knew that the people in the community could not fix up the houses. So they bought the house. They knew they bought the houses for, you got to go look at Harlem now. All them dollar houses are now $1 million houses, but they knew who was going to buy it. They knew it's easy to buy it for $1, but imagine all the things you'll be hit with, right? Because the houses was messed up, but that was done by design. So you'll be hit with a lot of tickets and stuff. This need to be done. That need to be done. This need to be. They knew you couldn't afford it. That's why
Exactly.
$1. So some cases they burn them down or they mess them up for that reason, right? When they want the property.
Middle class black people. So I'm not sure if that is the Palisades area, if it's surrounded by middle class blacks, and then they have like the kind of rich area where the mansions are in that area,
No, I
but it's
believe that
surrounded
was
by
the
black
middle.
neighborhoods.
I
But
believe
that
that's
could
the
be
middle.
a thing, trying to, cause the whole credit system, like having a credit score, was
Mm-hmm.
started to get was for black people, just to make it so that it made it us harder to get houses in LA in different places.
Houses and
That's the reason why
businesses. Yeah.
they
The
started
businesses as well. Yes.
to realize that the whole, I got a 560 credit score,
Mm-hmm.
700 credit score. That was like that system was made to X people out of buying homes.
Yes. Yes.
Eaton County has more blacks, but the Palisades is wealthy. Okay. Well, right now they're going out to Canada. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Canada has closed down their borders. You can't get to Canada now. And then what's crazy is that's what I'm talking about. Simultaneously, while this fire is going on over here in California, there is a storm, like of snow, like Arctic winds blast in the other area. So it's like going to make it hard for them to even escape that area. If you don't like get people are just kind of like that are living in different parts of California are not really worried about it, like hitting them.
A lot of people from California, from the fires, have left.
They
From
don't have
what
any
I
control of
heard,
the situation.
from what I heard, a lot of people have went to San Diego and other areas trying to escape the fire. But it's still a red flag warning in that area as well. But a lot of people have left that area of Palisades and Altadena and went further south towards San Diego.
Watch what I'll show you what's about to happen though. And on Sunday, watch this shit. Trust me, watch it, and it's just going and going. Like I think Australia had something similar happen there too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something about things getting these fires that are erupting in different places. I don't know whether they're messing around with this HAARP machine, whether they're using some kind of laser to start this stuff, but it's something happening. There's something that's going on, and it's too strategic how these things are going on.
All right, show it.
You think that Elon Musk has bought Los Angeles for his smart city project? So is the smart city project from Elon Musk? Is this Elon Musk?
That's the
doesn't he have like
San Diego's a smart city already.
There's probably a way that them satellites can like shoot down some.
No, it's the government. I'm trying to
Yeah, because San Diego's a smart city now. Yes.
Every
They were
city
saying
is
that it was
gonna
Oprah
be-
Winfrey and the Elon Musk. And
Oprah Winfrey ain't got all that much money. She got pennies compared to them, right? Right. She may got a lot to us, but nothing to them, right?
This is going to be everywhere, like Sugar Love is saying. That's not here.
This is your government.
Yes, it is.
Trying to
You
get
flex
us
off the
under
sun and
full
directed
control.
the energy to a certain area and be able to like make a fire happen or whatever. But it's interesting that this happens when Elon Musk and Trump have come together in this technology.
But it already happened. They already have a smart city in San Diego right now. So
coming up over there too.
yes, they do. Yes.
Right. So it's not just Elon Musk and Donald.
No, it's not.
And you know what happens whenever these kind of natural disasters happen in the area? What happens is that they end up redoing that area and the property value goes up. Like how Louisiana is expensive now. The people that used to live there, they can't afford to live there no more. So they not only did they lose their house, then when they rebuilt it back up, they couldn't even come back. They had to go somewhere else. That's the crazy part of this is that whoever lived there, they're not going to rebuild that area for them to come back there. They're not going to be
able to come back. They're not going to be able to come back.
So corrupt. Thank you. That's what I would exactly. I know that. Thank you. It's corrupt as hell. I mean, a lot of those people are celebrities, so they probably knew that they could just go to another house. They probably have different houses in different locations that they could just go to their summer home or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because they're millionaires, right? But I'm wondering if they even had State Farm as an insurance, like those super rich mansion owners and stuff like that. Did they go with State Farm, or is there like a rich, wealthy insurance company that covered those particular houses. You understand what I'm saying? Like they probably don't like if you own like a mansion, you probably don't go through State Farm. You probably go to Catalytic or like some other. I think it's called catalytic insurance. But there is different levels of insurance, y'all. So I don't believe that a lot of those houses that are like really rich people, I don't believe that they're getting the same insurance as like a State Farm or Allstate or Nationwide. No, I don't think that they do Nationwide on the side. They got some special rich people insurance. Yeah, State Farm is trash. Yeah, State Farm is not like a rich insurance company.
They're all insurance companies are trash.
Nationwide.
All insurance companies are trash when you think about it.
Right. See, yeah. So they couldn't go back to right, but I know that I believe that the rich people did not have State Farm. They had the rich level of insurance that didn't say it was fire damage, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that everybody had that same like fire damage limit on their shit. You know what I'm saying? They did that for the poor people that owned houses and was on maybe Nationwide or Louisiana. They had to go to Mississippi. And then that causes problems because you got a whole people that might have been gangsters in Louisiana. Now they getting into gang fights in Mississippi with the people because they taking over there. You know what I'm saying? They tried to do that shit in Detroit. Tried to come to Detroit and try to run stuff, and I heard they even did the same thing in Dallas. So that's the type of stuff that goes on. 70,000 people. Wow. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. A lot of people got shipped off to Canada. I don't know how long they're going to be able to stay in Canada.
Well, I don't know if you heard the latest, but since these fires have started, Canada is reaching out to the governors of Washington, Oregon, and California, asking them to become part of their province. Now, what's going to happen with that? I don't know if the United States is going to approve that or not. But Canada, since the fires broke out, Canada is requesting that they become part of them. The three states on the West Coast, which would be Oregon, California, and Washington,
to actually absorb that into Canada,
to become a part of a province of them. Yes, you can go. You should be able to pull it up. Yes, and that was after the fires. Now listen to what I said. It wasn't before the fires got started. It was after the fires got started.
Let me look into it. But I wish them all luck, and the best. They use stuff like farmers insurance. Okay, farmers insurance. Yeah, yep, that makes sense. That or what's the other one? I used to actually work.
Allstate.
Hey, what was the name of the insurance I used to work for? But they're not using State Farm. They're not using Nationwide. They got some rich, higher level of insurance. A lot of them return though, majority. Okay, once they So I heard that FEMA was out of money, so I don't know what's going to happen. I heard that I thought that FEMA was out of money, right? There was some other catastrophe that happened that FEMA, I think it was Hawaii. And then
the latest catastrophe they had was in North Carolina. That was in North Carolina.
Hurricane, they ran out of money.
In North Carolina, that was the latest catastrophe. Was in North Carolina.
That was the one. I don't know, North Carolina. Why are we getting hit with so much crazy natural disasters?
It's not natural. It's not natural.
Have experienced so many natural disasters at once. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not natural. Exactly. Next thing I'm expecting is an earthquake to hit.
It's not natural, and we've had earthquakes in the last couple of weeks too. It's not natural.
Blast, hurricane, tornadoes. Now you got all what's going on in 1 year. And these are not these are the biggest of the century Arctic situation. The largest fire of the thing, the biggest tornado, hurricane. It's this year it's almost like they're testing out their machines. That HARP machine is getting tested, y'all. UFOs are coming out. They bringing out their fake UFOs, UAPs. They let everybody know they know how to fly, and these UFO planes. They make no mistake. These are not aliens. This is our technology, y'all. That's not nothing. That's our technology. Okay.
This is not natural. It's not natural.
Mm-hmm. They use the insurance companies that don't need to advertise commercials on TV. Thank you. Thank you. But they're not really, they might have lost some things, but I'm sure a lot of them got tipped off. A lot of those people got tipped off, y'all. Because I'm not hearing enough celebrities really crying about what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
They have 3 and 4 and 5 houses. What are they going to cry about?
They probably had them houses was probably emptied out. You know what I'm saying? Of all their real like stuff. You know, because even Joe Rogan was saying something along the lines of like it was a fire going on. He predicted that a firefighter told him that it's only going to take a certain amount of wind and they're not going to be able to stop the fire. You understand what I'm saying?
And then,
7 seals, okay.
And then
right, biblical prophecy. But hell, the 7 seals is, I mean, it's all going on in America. This is the whole all the 7 seals in America. Every 7 seals in America happened at one time. Like what?
Man, oh man.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Sugar Love? Go ahead.
Girl, you know I forgot. You know I forgot. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. And you know for a fact, I don't care how rich you are. They say my house went down the ground. Something to say that my stuff was in there. Baby, you'll be crying. Oh, my baby bitches and my you know, you don't see none of that coming from them because that's
no.
They got so many different houses.
Yeah.
Right? So again, they already know it's coming back bigger and better, right? They're not
Yes.
about it.
Yes, exactly.
And then what's the purpose of I'm donating all my clothes? I ain't got nowhere to put it.
Right. Where?
Come get food.
Donating to where?
That's exactly. You gotta hear these people.
Yeah.
I'm fixing to donate my clothes.
I'm like, and that's why I seen today when they was like, "Oh, it's to the capacity." Why come? Where the hell? Where am I gonna get all the? Where am I put these things at? I ain't got a dresser, right? I ain't got a bag.
Yep. That's true.
And if you got Ubers that will help you, I'm like, this is that bullshit, right? Oh, and then here go Holly Berry. I love her dearly. Oh, a lot of them coming with designer clothes. The fuck, they can't fit your shit. No way.
We have all like the bags and everything, man. If you don't get 7 seals in America in 1 year, golly, y'all. I don't know, but it's reaching up. You know me, I don't like to keep people too long. I don't do the really super duper long things unless I got like people up here with me I'm talking to. I just mainly wanted to just talk about this subject. It's really hurt. It's really messed up. I'm gonna do some research into the. Also, I found out there's a rail system. Okay, that the fire is going along the way that this rail system is supposed to be set up too. That's one other thing. I did want to show you guys that. Hold on, let me see. Let me show you. Here.
And how it just so happens to match up with the new path or the corridor for the new rail system that they want to put in. We have all kinds of red flags connected to this event on how the fire started and all these other details about things getting burnt and the trees not, blue trash cans, and all of that. I look to break that down on the next live stream. Make sure to join me. And this is replacing the other video that had the footage of fire.
I want to show you the polar vortex.
Get cold, friends. What's going on, guys? Certified meteorologist Jonathan Kagas back with you to talk about this Arctic invasion set to come through the country Getting in the next week, we're going to break down the timeline of that. We'll
Watch
show you the
this, y'all.
forecast on
Watch
how
how
cold
crazy
it
this
gets.
is.
And then at the end of the video,
Watch how it
I want to
looks.
break down what
Crazy.
the
It's like,
polar
what is going on?
vortex actually is. It's used incorrectly a lot of times, more often than not for clicks, but it actually is having a say in the weather this time around. We'll talk about what
Watch
it is
how it
and
looks
what
like
it
it's like it's
isn't.
not
Before we
going
get
over
into
there.
this video, if you do want to stay updated on the weather and just have that weather conversation, you've come to the right place. Hit that subscribe button if you love the weather, and we will break all of this down. Alrighty, guys, we are going to start things off on about January 18th. January 19th, we're starting with the temperature anomaly, and where you see the purples and blues starting to pop up on the screen, that's what we're talking about temperatures below normal. The darker the purple and borderline white color that you see, that is the greater anomaly below what we should.
How in the hell is there fires burning up everything and it's a polar vortex on its way? How is a fire going to burn through the coldest air of the world? In the world, from coming from Antarctica somewhere, or the Arctic or the North Pole.
Could be again. So there we go. Intermountain West. That's where we really start to see this blast of Arctic air start first. Upper Midwest, Northern.
Now here's the thing: is that we just had a blast of Arctic air that just, you know what I'm saying? We just had a blast, right? How is there all these blasts happening?
They manipulate. Let's not forget they manipulate the weather.
Yes, they do.
I know. I'm trying. Watch when you see this thing. Watch when you go faster or more. Maybe, no, I don't know.
Northern Plains, but watch what happens as we get towards the weekend. Monday, January 20th.
Look at how this looks. You see how this looks? It's almost like there's something blocking the air from going over there.
Well, block it from going to the tip, because New York over here at the tip. Don't come to
it's kind of warm up over here.
You see?
Oh no, it's mixing to go over there too. Trust me. Watch it. I'm not sure where LA is. Nevertheless, there's a polar vortex, but it looks like it's
LA
weird, like it's
is
being directed
opposite.
over this way.
LA
Like
is
not
opposite
quite.
New York.
It didn't quite come down and hit over here. It just like a wall is being built right here that you can't see. That you
Like
see
a
how
field.
how
Like a
did the
field.
wind know to turn like that? Look at how watch the animation of how the vortex goes, right? So right now it's over there, Utah area,
You
and then
see
boom.
the purples and blues starting to
Watch
pop up on the screen. That's what we're talking about temperatures below normal. The darker the purple and borderline white color that you see, that is the greater anomaly below what we should be again. So there we go. Intermountain West. That's where we really start to see this blast of Arctic air start first. Upper Midwest, Northern Plains, but watch what happens as we get towards the weekend. Monday, January 20th, most of the country now under the influence of this giant Arctic air mass, and where you see that dark purple, that's anywhere from 20 to 30
even
degrees
Texas,
below what your normal temperature is right now. We'll
So
take a look at
So is this like a gigantic cloud? How is it just not even hitting over here? You understand what I'm saying?
Long
Which I'm
as
sure
it
would
stop
help them
right where it's
figure out
at.
whatever the fuck is going on in
Let it
California.
stop
Whatever's
right where
going
it's
on,
at.
fire-wise,
My little East Coast section
I think it would
is
stop.
good.
I don't know. It's fixing to go over there. Hail and rain, everything mixed in with that bad
My
temperature.
little section is good. I see a little bit. I see a little bit. I see a
It looks like it's a
shade
wall
of
stopping the
burgundy.
air from getting over here. It's weird. I'm like, maybe I'm tripping. I don't know.
some of the temperatures in just 1 second. And then this moves further east. So initially, Florida escaped some of this cold, but as you see there, by January 21st into the 22nd, Florida also gets in on this blast of cold. Really, the lone spots to kind of
Lord, it
escape it's
moved
going to
up.
be in the extreme western United States. But really, everybody from Idaho to Arizona, and then especially east of the Rockies, in for this big blast of cold air. It tries to scour out by the 23rd, but it is going to be cold for quite some time. Here's the upper level
Thank
pattern. We're
God
going to
for
start this thing on
menopause.
January 17th. And again, same deal with the anomaly. The brighter the blues and purples, the colder the air in the upper levels of our atmosphere. So here we go. You watch this area of low pressure develop around the Hudson Bay. It's going to be that closed donut hole, those tight lines that you see right through the Hudson Bay, where you see my mouse going crazy.
But not the
And
whole
all of that colder air starts pinwheeling around that big chunk of low
that
pressure. You can kind of see that
Y'all fixing to be
closed
here
donut
from-
hole now by the time we get to Monday, January 20th. And pinwheeling around that area of low pressure is all of that Arctic air that is charging in the Arctic as we speak, and as mentioned, will dislodge and head towards the lower 48 as we get into that January 17th.
Man,
No,
that's crazy, y'all.
no,
That is
no.
crazy. So
No, guess what, Nick? Your school's gonna be closed because you be put up there. School's closed. That's why the
meanwhile,
school's
there's a
gonna be
black man who
closed.
has created gas out of trash and plastic. I've seen that on TikTok. But so while California is going through this anomaly of like this, I'm not even sure if this is the season that this happens in every time. The fires. I think it's weird that it happens in the winter.
No,
the fires happen all the time in California. They're just more talked about in the winter,
But while
DJ.
California's at that, we're about to have a. Oh, so you're saying that it just happens just regularly, like just.
We have fires in California dang near every month.
Are you
There's never not one time there's not a fire in California.
talk about coming
hell
to
no.
Cali. I ain't messing with
So
y'all.
why would you
Tell
move
them to
there?
keep
Why
that
would you be
purple
there?
stuff over there. Well, no,
Why
we
would you be
live. We
there?
live. We
What are you
live,
doing?
Virgo.
What the hell? Arctic
We-
blast. So it's gonna be hard for them. I say if you're gonna leave California, if people need to leave there before the Arctic blast.
We don't know where to
You
go
can't
now.
to
That whole shit
Canada.
was purple.
And you need to get the heck up out of California.
Where
Whatever's
we
going on, if you're
going?
in that area or whatever, don't just wait for the thing on fire till you can see it
DJ,
and you get the vision.
where we
You know what I'm saying?
going? We gonna
I
either
don't
burn up or
fucking know.
freeze.
I don't know, bro.
We
I
gonna
don't
burn
know.
up or freeze.
Freeze
Like
to death.
pretty choice. What you want us to do here? Right? We gonna go and freeze.
Whatever you're gonna do, leave there. Like
Most of the people I
leave
know
California
don't
and
even have
freeze
a
to
winter
death.
coat. I know a lot
Leave
of people.
California and freeze to death. Don't let it happen to you, bro. Don't let it happen. Don't you actually see the fire coming down the street. You know, get up out of there.
Go
and
in the
just take some
middle.
time,
Stand in
you know
the
what I'm saying,
middle.
before it starts getting too cold in these regions where that blast
Jesus.
and then you got snow and you can't get nowhere and everybody's in. Now you're stuck out in the snow in your car.
And they ain't got no coats and no
You know what I'm
nothing.
saying?
The people down
Like,
south,
I don't
of the
know.
places, they
I mean, that's
have
why it's
coats.
important to travel, guys. That's why I'm. What you say? What you say?
They ain't got no coats or nothing. They ain't got a boot. Well, not everybody wear Uggs, thank God. Even though it's hot summer days, thank God they gonna have some Uggs. They'll be all right. That's it. They gotta buy a hat, coat, long thing. They're gonna go into a store like, what's that? What's that?
No. Leave California and then come down south to like Mexico
and freeze.
No, go to Mexico. It looks like it's cool in Mexico. Just go down to Mexico. Like, don't come over to Texas. That shit's gonna be fucked up. It's gonna be fucked up.
And don't come on over.
Take your ass down to Mexico and then go over to the side. Like, I don't know. Like, for real.
She said, I told you I go to Mexico. I think I'm going to Mexico. Come on, Jack. Let's pack up.
Anyways, polar vortex. But while California's at that, we're about to have an Arctic blast. So it's gonna be hard for them. I say if you're gonna leave California, if people need to leave there before the Arctic blast hit, because you can't go to Canada, and you need to get the heck up out of California. Whatever's going on, if you're in that area or whatever, don't just wait for the thing on fire till you can see it with your vision. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait until you actually see the fire coming down the street. You know, get up out of there and just take some time. You know what I'm saying? Before it starts getting too cold in these regions where that blast hit, and then you got snow and you can't get nowhere.
That is crazy.
Now you
But you know, DJ, I have to say something. Everybody just can't pack up and leave just like that, though. A lot of people just don't have it like that. They can't leave because when you look at it, the way they're manipulating the weather, the way the weather's been manipulated, you don't know if it's going to be cold in one place where it's supposed to be hot or hot in one place where it's supposed to be cold. A lot of people can't afford to just pack up and leave like that. Who has it like that? That's why me and Sugar Love were saying that the ones that they have, the poster people that they have on TV showing these homes, they have 5 or 6 different homes. They're not showing you the everyday people. The people that lost their homes and had their home for 50, 60, and 70 years, they have nowhere to go. And then, of course, the government's not going to go ahead and give them nothing because right before these fires got started here in California, they just approved money for the illegal immigrants between 29, I think, and 49 years old. That's somewhere where the money's going to. So you have to look at all the angles. It's not, don't just look at the one angle.
I know one thing is that when that shit hit, it's gonna cut off all the electricity in Dallas. So I'm fixing to go head down towards Houston and go down to Mexico. Because let me tell you something. Like what the fuck? Like hell no.
A lot of the money that should be used for certain things have been misappropriated.
Yeah.
If our government would use our funds what they're supposed to be used for, some of these things would be not happening. But like me and Sugar Love said, this is all by design. San Diego is currently, as we know right now, in January of 2025, is a smart city right now. It's awful funny that Canada wants the 3 states on the West Coast to come join them. So what do they know that everybody else don't know? See, it has a lot. It's more political than a lot of people believe and think.
And people gotta also remember these plans was already thought of like 20 years ago, right? 25 years ago.
Yes.
So we have to remember that too. That's why some people are not nervous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people are not nervous. They know.
I'm nervous because goddamn this right here, the polar vortex. I'm gonna have to like work at the airport during this shit. I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm about to like go down to Mexico.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy. Like, what in the hell are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, what is going on? Look at this. I mean, that's why it's important to travel, guys. That's why I'm fixing to start traveling because
I ain't traveling.
In one
I ain't
spot,
getting
you know what
caught.
I'm saying?
I'm not being caught in nobody's sky where half
position,
and the other half is freezing. No, I will not be caught in nobody's skies. No, ma'am.
Like, I don't know. I mean, that's why it's important to travel, guys. That's why I'm fixing to start traveling.
No, man.
Being stuck in one spot, you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes that's where you gotta stay. But I'm not trying to be stuck any place but home.
Whatever weather or what kind of weird stuff that's gonna hit, you know, you need to be able to get up and go. You know what I'm saying?
Go and be stuck in somebody else's spot.
You're gonna go with the opposite direction.
If I'm gonna be locked in, I'm gonna be locked in my own house in my own comfort.
It sounds like the Palisades was like a rich spot. The polar, what's happening?
Monday, January in the
Where you traveling to? You see that map? Where you going? See that?
I'm going to Mexico. I'm going down to Houston, to Mexico, right here.
Next thing you
know,
know,
it's like yellow right here. I'm about to go down there because if it's a fire and then the fire starts to get on those poles, now you have an electrical fire, so you can't even fight that because you put some water on that, you make it electrocuted. So whatever's going on, if you're in that area or whatever, don't just wait for the thing on fire.
But just like Canada is adjacent to America, so is Mexico. Next thing you know, Mexico gonna have floods and all this other shit because they know you gonna go there.
Oh Lord, no.
Anyway, anything that's right next to us, watch what happens.
Oh Lord, no.
Now all of a sudden, Hurricane Susie, right? Hurricane Gale. What the fuck?
See it with your vision. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait until you actually see the fire coming down the street. You know, get up out of there and just take some time. You know what I'm saying? Before it starts getting too cold in these regions where that blast about to hit. And then you got snow and you can't get nowhere and everybody's now you're stuck out in the snow in your car.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying?
It's sad.
Like, I don't know.
Sad,
I mean, that's why it's important to travel, guys.
That's
why I'm fixing to start traveling because being
say
stuck in one spot, you know what I'm saying?
I won't be stuck home. All I can say,
puts you in a vulnerable position.
All
you know,
I
to
can
where
say
whatever weather or what kind of weird stuff that's gonna hit, you know, you need to be able to get up and go. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Tornado last night.
Yeah, but if the plane,
we gonna go with the.
If the planes and stuff.
Like drive. Don't get on a plane. Drive.
Where you gonna go from the? You gonna drive through the fire into the?
You're not gonna be in the Arctic. What? Drive through the fire? No, drive through the snow.
Into the forest. Listen. All I can say is thank God for menopause.
Hell, this thing is hitting all over the United States, so I don't know what. Because you know what? When they talked about the one blizzard that was about to come down here, because you do not want to be in Texas when it gets too cold, because they get to cutting off the electricity down here. They love to cut the electricity off. I kind of understand why they cut the electricity off in California, because if it's a fire and then the fire starts to get on those poles, now you have an electrical fire, so you can't even fight that because you know.
Well, with that sense right there, I have to beg to differ, because PG&E have not really been keeping their equipment up to date. That's number one. They were told to keep their equipment up to date, and that was way when that fire in Paradise started. So when you think about the fire in Paradise started in November, sometime it still might be 70, 75 degrees outside, and everybody's burning their air conditioning, and everybody's pulling off the grid. So when you do that, you have all that energy that's overloaded in those wires. First of all, they have not kept their promise to keep their stuff updated. So when they finally, like I said, when they finally did the investigation and found out they were to blame for that, they made the consumer reap the benefits, and they got off scot-free.
Wow, that's like a class action lawsuit.
But there was never a class action lawsuit because they wouldn't let the people sue them. That's what I'm trying to tell you now. They tried that. It did not work. It did not work. And for the longest, they had been told from the federal government that their equipment was outdated, and they kept promising to update it. And every year it's the same thing over and over again, but nothing has been done.
But let me tell you something, like what's going to happen here with this polar vortex. Well, this is what they do. They'll like let this whole thing go down, and then they'll just cut the electric off, and then everybody be, watch this. I talk about this. It's a lot to all this. I'm gonna check out Donat, because he actually had to leave his home. He had to go to Canada. So I'm gonna check him out, check out what he's got going on, what he's saying, because I think it's crazy. He said there was riots and everything. So chaos.
Who did you say had to leave, DJ?
What he went through. So, and I'll come back with that report.
Who did you say had to leave, DJ?
Just love you guys. Peace. Oh, Donat said he had to like go to like California Canada, because they were rioting and people were killing themselves and all type of stuff.
Oh wow.
He said people were like, he said they're not like actually reporting everything that's going on.
No, they're not. Yeah.
People are like, they're losing their houses. So guess what? Now you have like suicides.
Mm-hmm.
People are feeling like they lost everything, this, that, the other. So yeah.
Wow.
Well, hold on. Let me talk about the I don't know if this like the whole like, hold on. This is what happened in Texas, right?
Can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
No.
Oh. Your browser has lost connection to your Square. Okay, hold on. Let me it's, I don't know why it's doing this. Hold on. All right, here we go. Hold on.
Total power grid collapse.
Coming for you, man.
It created a humanitarian crisis.
A statewide blackout.
Texas, a state known for its resilience against heat, suddenly finds itself at the mercy of two brutal winter storms. Families are left grappling with the unprecedented cold and days-long power outages. It soon becomes a life-threatening situation. We'll unravel the Great Texas Freeze, how it became a record holder to all the ways this could have been less devastating. When the cold front hit that Wednesday, electric utility crews said they were prepared to respond to all reports of power outages. But this could not have been further from the truth. The next morning, the first weather advisory was issued in northwest Texas. Isolated freezing rain began falling and expanded to neighboring counties after sunset. At 6:30 p.m., a Delta Airlines flight slides off the Pittsburgh International Airport taxiway. With no reports of injuries, passengers were on the aircraft for 3 hours before disembarking. It would be another 24 hours before the plane was removed from the runway. While the Delta incident was quickly managed, it was only the first taste of what was to come as the situation in Texas escalated rapidly. Hours later, the Fort Worth 911 center was inundated with desperate calls.
What do I do? Oh my God. I think I hit Winston. I'm confused. My car was spinning. There's a gentleman in a car next to me. He's just screaming. I don't know how many cars are packed up. They're all stacked on top of each other.
First responders arrived at a massive car accident involving 133 vehicles. Many of those involved were healthcare workers wearing scrubs and hospital badges. This included an off-duty EMT who jumped into action, working for hours even though he had a fractured ankle and other injuries from the collision.
We're coming to get you, all right? You hurting anywhere? Can you crawl out if I break this window?
Fire engines subsequently closed off the roadway to prevent further pileups. Nearly 120 emergency responders were on the scene to clear the roadway. Meanwhile, buses arrived to help motorists warm up after being freed from their cars to prevent hypothermia. After a 4-hour operation, the death toll would stand at 6, while more than 60 others were treated for injuries. Among
So people are like thinking this is funny, but I'm trying to tell y'all is that okay? So you have a thing going on in California, then you have like a whole like a thing coming into Texas, right? So that means that the people in California will not have anywhere to escape to. I'm not crazy. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, bro, like they cannot come into Texas and like escape what's going on in California because there's like wildfires in California and then they try to like leave out of California, come into Texas, and then this is happening in Texas. You know? That's what I'm trying to show y'all. And this is supposed to happen again on Sunday.
Oh, they're expecting some more Sunday?
Yes, Texas does not know how to deal with cold air.
Oh,
They will
wow.
shut the whole grid down. Fucking listen, they don't put down salt on the roads. They put
Right.
fucking
They don't do it on the West Coast either. No, they only use sand.
because they don't want to like mess up the car.
Mess up the roads and the cars because it says hard on the concrete, the asphalt as well.
Exactly. So imagine this is what was going on. So I don't know why it's funny. It's not a joke. This is like really what could happen. Like so for real. So
them 4 police officers. Due to the storm's severity and the scale of the accident, it would be several more days before the road was cleared. The collision was the most staggering crash during the February 2021 storms, but there were many more to come. As the disaster unfolded, Texas declared a state of emergency. However, the response revealed a significant oversight. Despite prioritizing gas, they relied heavily on electric heating. This revealed a lack of preparedness in managing energy. By the weekend, the freezing temperatures had forced 22 gas power plants to close. The infrastructure, including the production facilities and pipelines, were not designed to operate in such cold conditions. With the demand increased, prices spiked, making heating even more expensive and heightening the risks of power outages. Additionally, shutdowns across critical industries threatened to disrupt the economy, not just locally, but nationwide. As if that was not enough, an unprecedented winter event was heading straight for southeastern Texas. By the afternoon, an Arctic cold front hit with snow, sleet, and freezing rain battering the area and intensified overnight. The storm was driven by 2 weather patterns. First, higher than normal pressure over the polar region meant lower pressure in the northern U.S., letting extremely cold air move into Texas. And second, a polar vortex that pushed down intense bursts of cold from the North Pole.
There's supposed to be another polar vortex coming. So I'm trying to tell y'all is that it sounds like it's funny. It's not. Like, bro, you have this going on in California. They're saying a polar vortex is heading our way. Like, so
Wow.
imagine, like, so now people cannot like even escape what's going on over there. And then whatever air or whatever like that air is, that wind that you see is like 50 miles is gonna go even faster.
Roads became impassable, and temperatures dropped to the teens or single digits in places with wind chills below zero. This triggered the state's first ever wind chill and hard freeze warnings. Demand for electricity and gas soared as people bitterly tried to stay warm in unprepared homes. Due to the overwhelming demand, unplanned outages started happening, and soon the energy provider ERCOT issued a warning about potential rolling blackouts. That very day, President Joe Biden declared a state.
They cut the fucking electric off. This is how I lost my child though. What's crazy is that they cut the electric off. We were like without electric for like a whole week.
Wow.
We were in our house and trying to live through it. And I was pregnant at the time. And it was so much stress on the baby that I lost. The baby like lived. My child lived, but like he ended up being birthed earlier because I had like a very high blood pressure, like a situation. So
State of emergency. In the early hours of the morning, ERCOT instructed electric companies to reduce power to prevent a grid shutdown. This action, known as load shedding, resulted in more than 3.6 million people losing electricity. Among those affected were the Beckel family, and it all started with a 911 call.
The fire.
We think medical, a wellness check.
What's going on?
We have family there right now, and the last time somebody spoke to them, they fainted on the phone, and we're just trying to find out if they're okay.
Okay, stay on the line for Houston Medical. 1 moment.
The Houston Fire Department knocked on the door 13 minutes later, but left when there was no answer. When dispatch returned the call, he didn't warn the firefighters about possible carbon monoxide poisoning.
Nobody's on the scene, so
Wow.
it's one of those things. If they get there and they have to force entry, they're gonna break the door, displace the lock.
Yeah, that's fine. Do that as soon as possible.
Okay, but this isn't your family member, right?
I mean, this is our family. We think that they might have inhaled carbon monoxide in the garage.
Why do you think that?
Because of people that had called them in the morning.
Why would he have been inhaling carbon monoxide is the question.
Because the car was on in the garage and they were cooking because the power was out. They were trying to.
Oh, wow.
Well, we have units out there.
people don't know. People do not know like
tactical
how to
decision
deal with this
on that incident.
weather.
I'll get HPD out there.
But you know what's
Again,
crazy?
They left without speaking to anyone inside.
You know what's
It had
crazy?
been more than 2
What's
hours
that?
since the first call.
Don't we look like
The
the
anxious
immigrants
family
now?
member had heard
Yeah, we are living like immigrants now. Yes, we are.
Don't we look like them now?
Yes, we do.
No place to go, standing out there. Gotta get food, gotta get service for food, service for clothes. How they say we came here with nothing. And now look at us. And
Yeah.
look, you don't know who the difference is right now.
That's true. That's
Now,
true.
Are they gonna get the same food stamps and the same $5,000 and all that other stuff? And that immigrant stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bottom line is that he's talking about his family. But here's the thing: is that you should know. Anybody knows that you don't like to sit in your car with it running.
Mm-hmm.
But some people don't know that. Texas people don't know that you just can't.
But can I say something to what you're saying though? Sugar Love knows exactly what I'm talking about. Around maybe 77, 78, when they had the bad snowstorm, people weren't doing it then. So some people are just not thinking they want a quick fix right then and there because we were without power for maybe 2 weeks at a time back then.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't had a snowstorm like that since then. They've had snow, but it hasn't snowed like the storm of 70 and 78. The whole entire country was shut down.
Really?
From the east, yes, from the east coast to the west coast. If you were living in Ohio, you should remember that snowstorm.
You know what?
Everything was shut down.
Yeah, I was a kid, so I probably didn't know.
Yes, everything was shut down for almost maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
But I remember
Grocery stores didn't have any food.
Yeah.
Gas stations were closed. Yes.
So that's the type of like level of like, but I'm like, okay, this is what I'm trying to tell people is like, okay, you have a situation in California, right?
Right.
This coming to Texas, and Texas
Okay.
don't know how to deal with it. So you have to find a way to get away from California, because California is going to be when if this really happens down in Texas, it's going to be very bad. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be good at all. You know.
But think of the people that can't just jump up and leave California, because you have a lot of senior citizens or elderly people that are not able to leave California right now. Because like I said, even though the Palisades was on fire, Altadena, they're everyday people there. Everybody can't just pack up and leave like that. It takes money and it takes resources. Everybody can't just pack up and leave. Then you got to think about, where are some of these people going to go? The government's not trying to help anybody. They're not even willing to help anybody.
So now I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're trying to reduce the population because something's going on to where this is going to be happening again.
I called 2.5 hours ago for a wellness check. I'm calling for an update.
Okay, so we went out there.
Did you make contact with the people inside the home? I spoke to the fire department earlier. It says the truck was there for 15 minutes, but that's all they could tell me.
Okay, that's
the people are
the same
still not
thing I can tell you. So I have the same information they have. There's no other update.
Even though this was the third visit to the house, the fire department got lost. They arrived just around midnight. There was still no response to the knocking. However, this time they didn't.
DJ, can you pause that for a second? Can you pause? Did they say that was the third visit and they got lost? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, third time.
Okay. I thought I heard that. Okay.
Crazy. Like, so I'm just letting y'all know how crazy it can get. Like, so not to like scare nobody, but I'm just letting people know, like, for real.
They called with additional questions before entering the house.
They went to the address. They said it looks empty. Why do y'all think someone's there? Or are y'all sure someone's there?
We think that a family of 2 parents and 2 children is unconscious due to carbon monoxide inhalation.
Inside, all 4 family members were found unresponsive. It's believed the family had been unconscious for more than 12 hours before responders arrived. For the 46-year-old mother and her 7-year-old daughter, it was far too late. They were both pronounced dead at the scene. The father and his 8-year-old son were unconscious, but alive, and rushed to the hospital. Tragically, the front door to the family home had been unlocked all along.
Wow.
It was discovered that the mother was using her car to keep warm. When her husband went to the garage, he found her unconscious inside the car with the engine still running. A Conroe family also woke up to an unimaginable tragedy less than 24 hours later.
They don't know how to deal with a cold situation like this, right? So they're like, oh, okay, I'll sit into the garage and I'll like, because all the like electrics off in the house, we'll just get into the car and we'll just like warm up inside the car. They don't know that, okay, you can't be inside of a fucking car in a garage. So they're like killing themselves.
11-year-old Christian Pavone was found unresponsive in the bed he was sharing with his younger brother. Just hours earlier, Christian had been excited to see snow for the first time after moving to the U.S. from Honduras in 2019 to live with his mom. Tragic home video footage shows him playing in the snow. In hopes of staying warm, the entire family of 5 huddled in a single room in the family's mobile home. Christian was pronounced dead that afternoon, seemingly from hypothermia. But the autopsy would tell a different story, one that would lead to a lawsuit. While families faced the brunt of the storm inside their homes, outside, the state's infrastructure began to crumble under pressure. By this point, many methane gas processing plants had lost power because they weren't listed as essential services. This made it harder to supply gas to power stations. To combat the energy shortfall, regulators manually boosted the electricity supply, but this action triggered a sudden spike in prices. with residents seeing dramatically higher energy bills. Neighboring states were also affected by the cold, but managed to import power from the unaffected East Coast. However, this offered little reprieve for Texas, which has a largely autonomous electric grid with limited outside connections. It was 5 days into the storm, and it just kept getting worse. Grocery stores were starting to feel the weight of the supply issues. Customers were limited in the water and propane sales. Meanwhile, there were conflicting statements in the media regarding the blackout. Government officials said that renewable energy was mainly responsible, while ERCOT contradicted this by saying that frozen wind turbines were not the main factor in the blackouts. The following day, temperatures started picking up, but Texans were unaware of what was still to come. As the day progressed, more power generation was restored and the rolling blackouts ended throughout the state. As the power crisis eased up, a new challenge emerged. The extreme weather had caused water mains to break, forcing people to drip their faucets to prevent pipes from freezing. Additionally, power outages impacted water treatment plants, resulting in a decrease in the water system pressure. The consequences were dire. Almost half of Texans were left without access to clean water. Their only option was to boil water from taps or melt snow. Unfortunately, due to the ongoing power outages, many were unable to do so. The severity of the situation was documented on social media, which was flooded with images of people filling buckets with water and resorting to makeshift solutions like using plastic bags and toilets. The power outages even disrupted food distribution, causing some to be turned away from queues. But for some, it was even worse. Burst pipes and water mains caused severe flooding in some homes and apartments. Most houses had their water mains buried in the front yard, hidden under layers of snow, making it hard for residents to locate the shutoff valve. While residents struggled with frozen water mains, another emergency unfolded. Firefighters were called to a blaze at the Hilton Garden Inn. They arrived at the hotel where flames and huge columns of smoke were rising from the roof. The hotel was booked to capacity, with locals occupying most of the 102 rooms due to the severe weather, which had left them with limited or no access to water at their homes.
4 rooms are starting to fall in. If we're going to start doing something there, we need to start forcing the doors. No time for keys. Some type of Salvation Army response. We got a large number of displaced residents and a large number.
2 days before the fire, frozen pipes had caused flooding in the hotel lobby. To prevent further damage, the fire sprinkler system was turned off. Unfortunately, this left the building vulnerable. When the fire started, the disabled sprinklers let the fire spread quickly. Firefighting was made even harder because burst pipes had also damaged the city's water supply. Firefighters were able to contain the blaze after midnight. One guest suffered minor injuries, and 2 others were treated for smoke inhalation. Sadly, a family pet named Chico the Chihuahua was lost in the fire. Just before the 9th day, the Great Freeze was finally over. But for victims affected by the power crisis, their fight was only just beginning. And it was time to figure out why things had gone so horribly wrong. Was the Great Freeze really unprecedented? And was it a coincidence that Texas was caught so off guard? The main issue was undoubtedly the high energy demand for heating in an unprepared state. The disaster was blamed on unprecedented weather, but it was somewhat predictable. This was the 3rd time recommendations were ignored. Surprisingly, the situation could have been much worse.
Sounds familiar,
During the
Jackie?
power outage,
Yes, it does sound familiar.
narrowly avoiding a prolonged blackout
Yes, it
that
does.
lasted for months.
Yes, it does.
The company
They were
defended its
warned.
actions.
Huh?
They were warned, but
They were warned. Yes. That wasn't by happenstance either.
and
Was
why
that was in 2021, DJ?
and why have a weather channel if you ain't gonna listen to it?
Exactly.
So if you know the weather channel said this is what's gonna happen, but you don't invest money in it.
Exactly. So let me ask you a question, DJ. Do you know if they got any assistance from the state for all those people that were in Texas during that time? Do you know if they got any assistance at all? Because I remember them talking about it, but I don't remember exactly what happened.
It's just free.
DJ, you sleep again tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry. I said there was nothing. There was no assistance of nothing.
So they didn't offer any type of assistance for the people that lost stuff?
Listen, the reason why I lost my child was because I had to it was crazy. It was during COVID.
Right.
So what happened is that it was a mess.
Wow. Who was the governor? Was Abbott the governor back then or no?
Yeah, I think
He was the governor then? Okay. Wow. Well, none of this is by happenstance. This is all, like me and Sugar Love said, this is all by design. This was all planned, like she said, between 20 and 30 years ago. And this is only the beginning. They're at the beginning stage of it right now, and they're implementing this stuff to see exactly how it's going to work. So they're trying city by city by city by city to see how this is going to work out.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'm sorry, Sugar, what did you say?
Even though I say
No,
certain stuff, but please trust me. The reason why I'm saying this is because I already see that there's something coming down, and then you have to hear whatever is going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just letting y'all know.
They're going to rebuild the same thing.
They're going to rebuild. Yes, they are.
They got washed out by Hurricane Sandy.
Yes.
You can see where I live at now.
And Hurricane Katrina. Yes.
High rises. They want a casino.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people had to move out. Mm-hmm.
And they will not be moving back in. Once they move out, they will not be coming back in. The ones that will be going back in will be the rich and the affluent will be back in there. Those are the ones they really want in there.
Wow. That's sad. But you know what? That's what it is. That's where we're at. So you know what? It's like 2 hours and 21 minutes.
Yes.
I mean,
I gotta get up in the morning.
Sugar, you eating again, but this was a great show again tonight, ladies.
Shut up. I can't stand y'all.
I can't stand you either, but you eating again because I can hear you on live.
Yeah.
I can't stand y'all. I can't even have a snack and peace. I can't stand you.
It sounds whatever going on with something. It sounds really good or whatever when I'm eating.
All right, DJ.
What the hell?
I just got one final thing to say before we end this live. I just got one final thing to say. For the people that are not paying attention, now is the time to pay attention because this is where we are, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. This is only the beginning. It's not only just happening in California. This is getting ready to take place in every big city until they have everything they want. This is part of the new reset that everybody's been talking about. This is where we are. This is what we have. This is what we're working with.
Ashe?
DJ.
If you don't stop it with your full mouth.
Shut up.
Eat your food
none of
first.
y'all.
Just
I swear I like,
chew it on
I'm eating
chew it on
waffles.
up first and then say
I got
it.
waffles. I'm eating waffles.
Sugar, do you have any final thoughts on that?
Take us out of here, DJ. So I can
No. I need you to give a comment.
You have any final thoughts, Sugar Love?
Now I'm eating my waffles.
You eating your waffle.
Get on my nerves, man. Get on my nerves. Okay.
What's
All right,
nice
take us out of
bacon?
here. Much love to
Much
everybody.
love, much peace, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this live tonight. We hope you join us again. And for those of you that are getting ready to exit the chat, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. DJ, take us out.
Alchemize your energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. Alchemize your energy. My friend, let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy, the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light.